Sophia, best girl. Life and material. 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 Do I look like a cam girl to you? I need this for drugs. My fortress of solitude. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Artie of Artie's Corporate Fiction. Happy Monday to all of you. We have a very interesting live stream for you guys tonight. BSBT has once again surfaced into the legal realm, which is the only realm I care about when it comes to BSBT. He just recently, or Old Squishy Gardner, shout out to him, link in the description to the video, uploaded a video involving Mr. BSBT on a, I believe it's an obstruction charge. Again, I don't know the details because I don't follow everything that there is to know about the guy's life. He's not really worth it. And then I also got an auditor who was arrested at a Social Security Administration building in Florida, and who has ultimately been banned from all SSA buildings for about a year. In addition to that, I did find out earlier today that what we're going to see tonight wasn't his first time at this particular building, and wasn't his first time getting trespassed from this building, which probably explains why he got the year ban after this arrest. I'm not going to go through that encounter yet because I feel like it would stretch the live stream a bit too long, but I will want to save that for another date, because he talks a lot about the regulations involved in photography and video on federal property that I would like to address and kind of have a bit more of a discussion on, especially when it comes to what he decides or not decides to showcase to his audience to further his argument. So without further ado, we're going to go right to it. And we're going to go straight to Mr. BSBT's hearing. And let's see what happens. I hear the judge does not take kindly to this encounter. So let's find out. Now, also, I just realized that's the Mason signal. Freemasons at it again in our course.
Lanto and his legal arguments, because I'm not familiar with the issues in it, and I'm just asking the court if I can withdraw.
All right, then Mr. Lanto, then I can appoint a different court-appointed attorney.
Well, I just want to clarify and make sure I'm going to be able to speak for myself in the court. I don't want anybody speaking for me. As a matter of fact, I mean, all I really want is to be left alone. So that's first and foremost. And then as far as an audio only recording, I was told that there's an objection to the audio only recording. And I'd like to know, I don't feel safe without a recording. So is there any reasonable objection?
Well, first off, you can't record in the courts of law. They're already, if you'd like a transcript, everything is already being recorded by my court recorder. And I can assure you that there's no, the recording device is on and it records, and that's what she does. She records everything. So if you'd like a transcript of that after the proceedings, you're more than welcome to order a transcript. So
I've been told that before, and then when it comes to getting the transcripts, I still am waiting for the transcripts when I was told that in the past. So,
Well,
like I
know
said,
that
I
you're not
don't
talk-
feel, I
know
don't
that
feel
you're not
safe
talking.
without a report.
I know that you're not talking about the 23rd District Court, because I know if you've ordered a transcript from my court, those are always forthcoming. I've never had to deny anybody a transcript. So,
Well,
if that happened to you in another court, then I suggest that you call the State Bar of Michigan and report that court, because obviously they're not doing things correctly.
well, yeah, I have no desire to do that. All I want is to have fair and meaningful hearings. And well, I mean, first off, I simply,
So already I'm already hearing the language fair and meaningful hearing. I would like to just be left alone. So he's already, throwing in typical lines that we're all accustomed to hearing coming from Mark Stevens' script. In case you guys didn't know, that's the guru to which BSBT draws most of his filings in language from. So yeah.
just like to be left alone. But other than that, I mean, to get fair and
I get that, but obviously, you, had an interaction with somebody where they are alleging that, because today's the date and time set for the arraignment, so I want to make sure that you understand, I need the phone. On the date and time in question, it is alleged that, because first, let me do the arraignment part, because you need to I need to let you know what exactly you're being charged with, all right? So, because you say you want to be left alone, but they're claiming that there was an interaction. Now, first off, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney if you got a 411 will be appointed to you by the court at public expense. Now, it is alleged that on November the 17th of 2022, while in the city of Taylor, that you violated City Ordinance 32-31, which is a charge commonly known as interfering with the police authority. That is a misdemeanor punishable by 93 days in jail and or up to $500 in fines. So, as to that charge, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
well, first, can I just make a few clarifications?
I'm going to
Point of clarification.
caution you that anything you say can and will be used against you. So,
I understand.
As to guilty or not guilty, that's just the only question I'm asking right now.
Well, in order to say guilty or not guilty,
or you can stand mute, which means I'm not saying anything, and then I will enter a plea of not guilty for you, so that you don't have to say anything, and it automatically goes to not guilty. So are you pleading guilty, not guilty, or standing mute?
Well, before I make a plea, you stated that I have the right to be informed of the cause and nature of the charges, correct?
There we go.
What I just told you. I just told you what the charge was.
Yeah, you did.
And you're stating that it's based on an interaction. So my guess is that you have no firsthand knowledge of anything that happened.
Why would he?
Well, I'm not stating anything.
He's the judge.
The
judge. I don't. This is such a stupid question to ask. At no point is the judge testifying or is saying anything as to the merits of the case. So of course he would not have firsthand knowledge of the interaction. That's not his job.
The people of the city of Taylor have charged you with. They have charged you with a violation of City Ordinance 32-31. That ordinance is commonly known as, by name, as interfering with police authority. I'm not putting any allegations. I'm not stating any facts. I'm merely stating what has happened to get this case into my courtroom. That's it.
Well, you sound awfully fair to this point, and I certainly appreciate that. Because, yeah, and just to be specific, it's not the people of the city of Taylor, it's David Jones, and then I don't know the name of the prosecutor, and I just want to make sure that the prosecutor is aware of, Section 241, Section 242, Title 18, deprivation of rights under color of law. I want to know if they're aware of that.
Oh, that has nothing to do with the current situation. And either way, you can't bring a Title 18 action because Title 18 is a crime. What you want to say, even though it's meritless, is that you want to try and file a suit under Title 42, Section 1983. That's where you could file a suit against public officials who you claim violated your rights.
Well, first off, that's a separate. What you're talking about is civil type cases.
Well, it's also criminal.
Well, the judge is incorrect there. He's confusing Title 42 with Title 18. But again, notwithstanding, BSBT can't bring a Title 18 action.
What I'm saying is, in this matter, the matter that is before me, okay, is a misdemeanor matter where you are being, it is alleged that you violated an ordinance of the city of Taylor. The people of the city of Taylor, through their attorney, have acted to bring a case against you. So the only thing I can do right now is ask you, are you pleading guilty, not guilty, or standing mute?
Can I have the name of that prosecutor that's bringing the charges? Because I've had in another case where a prosecutor stated at 3 proceedings away from the arraignment, she stated that after reviewing the video and speaking to the witness.
I'm gonna take your response as being non-responsive, which is
Well, I
has
object to
nothing
that.
to do with being guilty or not guilty. So I'm gonna enter a plea of not guilty for you.
Nice.
I object to that.
So I appreciate the judge just like completely cutting him off there and not letting him spiel.
I object to that.
Okay, then are you guilty or not guilty? Or standing
Well-
mute? Those are the 3 things we got going on right now.
Well, I first have to clarify, you did say that I
I don't
was
have to force that to
presuming.
clarify anything, sir. I'm being very fair with you. And right now, you're basically splitting legal hairs. Right now, the only thing that I have jurisdiction over is doing arraignment. Nothing
Well, you
more,
see-
nothing more can happen in this case until the arraignment happens. And the arraignment
Well,
is whether or not you plead guilty or not guilty. And if you're unresponsive to that question, then I'm gonna enter a plea of not guilty for you so that I can protect your constitutional rights, because a lot of people don't know that they should. So that's why I enter a plea of not guilty for people who don't really know how to answer the question. So that way they're not getting, no one's gonna be bamboozled or said that, well, you said guilty and you didn't know what was going on. I don't want that to happen. I say that you're either gonna plead guilty, not guilty. If someone is unresponsive to that question, then I automatically just enter a plea of not guilty for them so that they can preserve all of their rights to a trial and everything else without having been forced to be pleading guilty. So by you saying everything else, that's all well and good, but it's not the time and place for it. See, this is the problem, is there's a time and place for everything in the matter of procedures of courts. And when you just start trying to jump the gun and go right from 0 to 60, that's not how it works. There's a stepping process.
Yep.
And everything has to go in that process. And the process today is an arraignment. It's just an arraignment where I'm telling the individual who is alleged to be a defendant what the allegations are. And the allegation is that you violated a city ordinance, and that city ordinance is basically one commonly known as interfering with the police authority. One commonly known as interfering with the police authority. So that's and letting you know what the charge is, and letting you know what the penalty for it is. And I've already stated.
So, long story short, the judge is basically saying, we're not here to discuss the merits of your case. That's not what we're here for. So, enough with the banter. We're just here to let you know what your rights are, what the charges are, whether you want to wish to enter a plea, guilty or not guilty, and whether you wish to obtain counsel or if you need a public defender. That's it. We're not here to discuss the merits of the case itself.
So, again, I'm going to ask you, guilty or not guilty?
Well, I certainly appreciate the explanation. It seemed like you were getting a little angry. I don't know. I mean,
I'm not getting angry, sir, but I'm literally stating that nobody's trying to bamboozle you or anything like that. I don't know what happened in some other court, and everything that you want to do, you can still do. I just need to know if you're pleading guilty or not guilty. And if you're not answering that question, then I'll enter a plea of not guilty for you so that it preserves all of your constitutional rights and the case still moves forward.
Right. You said we're interested in preserving my constitutional rights, correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
And then one of those.
What I'm saying is everything that you're saying can be used against you. If you think that you have a motion to dismiss, that's something that you can do, but that's when the case is already going to the next stage, which is.
Well, like I said,
and we're not at that stage yet.
Well, like I said, I would just prefer to be left alone and not have to come back at all. And then if we're not going to do that, then I definitely like to have fair and meaningful hearings. And my concern is we've got a police officer and we've got a prosecutor. Both are state actors, and they're trying to bring charges against me. And I just want to know, because you are a judge and you are another state actor, am I going to get a fair and meaningful hearing here?
Oh my!
And I'm telling you that I keep right here. Hang on one second. Right
And
on my
I
bench.
and
Copy of my, sir, please, I have not cut you off at any point, please don't cut me off. This is a copy of my oath of office, and why do I keep it here?
Wow.
Because it constantly reminds me that, what am I gonna do? I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office. So I take that very seriously. My son serves in the Marines. He takes his duty to uphold the Constitution seriously. So if you are implying that I am not going to uphold the Constitution, or that I am going to take an oath and not be true to my oath, then I take offense to. And so if you sense any sort of anger, there's no anger. The only thing I'm telling you is that you are implying that I somehow am an oath breaker, and I am
well,
not.
I didn't. I didn't.
That's exactly what. I swore an oath to the Constitution that I put my hand on the Bible and swore to, and I'm telling you, I don't break my oath.
Mm.
Okay,
So
would you
now,
agree
if you're
that?
implying that you're not going to get a fair hearing, that's my job, is to make
Well,
sure
I
that fairness happens, that due process happens. And so
Well, I do.
So I'm asking you, just as a matter of course, because this is the stage that we're at is an arraignment. Are you pleading guilty or not guilty?
Well, you just
Or
said.
if you don't, or if you're not responding to that question, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf, and I'll find you standing mute to the question.
Well, I object to anybody making a plea on my behalf, and I
Okay,
just
well,
wanted.
I'm not making a plea. I'm just finding you. I'm just entering. I'm just saying that you are right now presumed not to be guilty, because that's just your constitutional right to be
Okay.
presumed not guilty.
And then that means
exercising your constitutional right. I'm not entering a plea for you. I'm just listing you as somebody who is right now not guilty, because the Constitution says you are to be presumed not guilty until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So I'm not entering a plea for you. I am just merely stating that this individual is to be treated as someone who is not guilty.
Okay, and then so if I'm presumed innocent of all the elements of the charge,
my
correct?
God. Another classic Mark Stevens. He's trying his darndest to keep within the script. And so far the judge has completely thrown him off. So BSBT, he's trying to rope himself back into the script with this question.
No, you are presumed innocent until proven guilty, and you haven't had a trial yet. That's your other constitutional right. So if you'd like to set this for a trial, we can set this for a trial.
Well, we just said that I'm presumed innocent until proven guilty, and then my question was, am I presumed innocent of all the elements of the charge? And I didn't get an answer to that, because that's a yes or no.
Well, first off, I don't need to answer questions.
Yeah. No. You're not going to be able to make demand to the judge like that.
Give legal advice, because that would be more legal advice that you would talk about with your attorney. And when I'm wearing the robes, I can't give legal advice to either side. I'm more like a referee. I can throw a penalty flag. I can call a whistle for a violation of a rule that I see one side doing or the other side doing, but I can't coach either team.
Well, I certainly appreciate you being fair. Yeah, because
the answer to your question is I can't answer your question, because that would then be giving you legal advice, and I'm not allowed to give either side legal advice.
Okay, because in this particular case, there are crimes that occurred, but the crimes that occurred were the people that put their hands on somebody that had no desire to be having somebody put their hands on them, and then binding them, and then placing them in the back of a gangmobile, and then taking them to a cage. That's the victim in this case. And the victim, if the victim is going to be the city of Taylor, and it's going to be presided over by a judge that is paid by the city of Taylor, with a police officer that's bringing the charges with the help of an attorney, and then they don't know what 241 or Section 241 Title 18 conspiracy to violate my rights, then I have serious concerns for the fairness and the meaningfulness of these proceedings. And I think that's very reasonable.
I am a judge of the 23rd District Court of the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
It's located in the city of Taylor, but I am not. I don't work for the city of Taylor.
But you see my see my concern for my safety?
I absolutely. Except for the fact is, I'm presiding over the whole case.
Thank you, cracking me up for the 2 months. Indeed.
And I'm gonna make sure everybody has due process. Everybody has the same fairness to bring their case and to make sure that they can cross-examine witnesses and make sure everything is recorded by my recorder, who also has sworn an oath, and I find her to have never have broken her oath either. And so I'm just telling you, I'm gonna be doing my job, and my job is to defend the Constitution, and I will be doing so. So as of today, it was set for arraignment. I have entered a not guilty as to the charges against you. And right now I can do one of two things. One, I can set this up for a pretrial. The pretrial is something that I always afford the parties, where they can talk to one another. If they want to work something out, I have no problem with the constitutional right to enter into contracts and to do things like that. Or I can just set up for a jury trial or bench trial right now. If you want to forego any of that and say, look, I really have nothing to discuss with them, I'll just like to go to trial. So would you like to meet with the prosecutor? Well, in which case I will set this up for a settlement conference date where the two of you can discuss the matter. Or I can just set this for a jury trial or bench trial right now.
Well, I mean, I do have a couple objections to that, because I'm being labeled and called the defendant here. And what I'd like to be called is the victim. Oh. And what I'd like to do is, if this is a fair proceeding, then that prosecutor, as long as we're going around and throwing out suspicions and alleging crimes, I'm going to allege them of the crime of the Department of Justice, Section 241.
That's not how this works. And I notice a lot of sovereign citizens try to do this. They try to file counterclaims in a criminal proceeding. That's not how that works. There's no such thing as filing a counterclaim in a criminal action. You can sue them, but you'd be suing them in federal court. This local municipal district court, or even the state court, wouldn't even have jurisdiction to hear your civil suit if you're trying to sue them under federal law. So there would be no. Yeah, everything about what he just said is just stupid and wrong. And I think we all know that this is his standard tactic of making a mockery of the court.
242, Title 18, which is deprivation of rights under color of law. And I take serious issue with people acting like criminals.
Okay, so what I'm saying is this. One, I don't have jurisdiction to take your case. Two, you're citing to federal law. Three, you would have to file that in a federal court. And, and all of those things are available to you. You have the right to do so and have the proper court, determine that. All right. So what I'm saying is, this is a city ordinance, and I have jurisdiction over state cases and over city cases, misdemeanors, and I don't have, and what you're stating, I don't have the jurisdiction to hear. That doesn't mean that you can't bring that case in the proper court. All I'm saying is, from now on, I'm just going to refer to you as Mr. Lanto. If you prefer not to be referred to as the defendant, then I'll refer to you as Mr. Lanto. The prosecutor is Mr. Dave Greco, and I'll refer to him as Mr. Greco. And that way, everyone will just refer to one another in their generally names. But what I'm asking you right now is, would you like me to set this for a settlement conference at a later date, or would you like to set this for a bench or jury trial?
Well, I'm willing to forego any intention of criminal charges against the prosecutor if they're willing to just dismiss this now. And
like, is this dude serious? Like, he's essentially like, I don't want to say the B word or the E word, but that's a bold move to try and tell the prosecutor, I won't sue you if you don't drop these charges against me.
Leave me alone.
So here's the thing: is I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to look at the case and think about it, and not have to. I made sure that you didn't have to take a guilty plea right off the cuff without having to think about it. So I'll set this for a settlement conference. And everyone can come back at that settlement conference. And if there's if there's a resolution, then there's a resolution. If there's not a resolution, then I'll ask if you want a bench trial or jury trial, because that's your constitutional right, and I just need to know which one you're choosing. So All right?
Outstanding, because I'd like to talk to this prosecutor who I suspect is a criminal at this time, and I would like
Well,
to.
first off, I'm gonna caution you, Mr. Lanto. I'm gonna caution you, and I'm gonna caution you once. And the next time it happens, I will hold you in contempt, because I will hold anybody in contempt. I do not run a Jerry Springer show. I do not run a Jerry Springer show where the litigants are going to use words and things and call each other names. If you're going to refer, I'm not referring to you as a defendant. I rightfully could. Anybody has charges brought against them is for a moment known as a defendant. If you look in the dictionary and look up defendant, that's what it says. But you prefer not to be called a defendant, and I acknowledge that, and I'm going to call you Mr. Lanto. You are not.
Sure. Thank you.
You are not, and I repeat, not until you prove otherwise in a court of law beyond a reasonable doubt. You are not to call any other litigant a criminal.
Sure. Well, I've been alleged to be a criminal.
I will make sure that the proper respect is given to you. I'm going to ask the same of you. So you will refer to Mr. Greco as either Mr. Greco or as the prosecutor. But you're not going to call any other litigant or any other witness or anybody else a criminal unless they actually have a criminal record or they have been proven to be a criminal in a court of law by a jury of their peers.
Yeah, and for the record, I called him a suspected criminal. Well, I'm very careful. I'm very careful with my words.
Again, you're splitting hairs, and I'm just telling you right now. I'm giving you one heads up. And I don't allow any kind of Jerry type Jerry Springer stuff where there's going to be finger pointing, chair throwing, and name calling.
Well, I did do a cop watch karaoke, which is probably what led up. Which is probably what led up to this.
Cop watch karaoke.
Settlement conference. All of your contact information is correct, so I can make sure that due process is afforded under the Constitution, and I'm mailing notices out to the proper spot, and that's the Cloverdale address?
No, and at this time I don't feel safe giving an address, but I'll give you a phone number and email address that I can be contacted by because I do want to participate in the settlement conference.
Well, right, but I also need to, I'm required by law to mail it out to your last known address. So if this address is something that you will still receive, all I'm saying is I already have an address. Is it still current? Is it still current?
In the activism that I do, it's important to stay on the move because I have people that try to retaliate against me and do violent things to me. So I prefer not to.
Well, then that's up to you. That's up to you to go to the. It is incumbent upon you to go to the post office and make sure that they have your forwarding address. I'm going to mail. My clerk is going to mail it out to the Cloverdale address. And if you didn't put a forwarding on there, well, that's between you and the post office. We don't send out emails. We don't send out emails as notice, and we don't make phone calls to let people know when the notice is. We use the mail system because that's the only thing that's tangible and can actually be proven. Why? Because you can see that you put something in the mail. You can actually see that it's been in the mail because it's post-dated. So
yeah, is it going to be certified? Because that's the only way really to prove that somebody got it.
No, it's not, and we don't have to send it by certified mail under the court rule. And the court rule has already been ruled to be part of the Constitution, and it's already been ruled as being constitutionally proper under the process of the Constitution. So I'm going to mail it to your last known address. If you have some sort of change of address, that's between you and the Postal Service. All right. So we're going to set this for a settlement conference date. It'll be sometime in the new year, sometime in January, and we'll see everybody then.
Okay, I certainly appreciate you being fair.
That's what I swore to do. That's what I always do. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Gazicki, if I didn't make a ruling on your request, it is granted.
he's out of the case.
Idoni?
So there it is. Exactly what I hoped for, which was to have a no nonsense judge kind of bring him down a couple of pegs. We all know it's not really going to change much given his behavior, but it's good to see judges catching on to this kind of stuff. I know there were some super chats. Where was Mel Ronderos 199 OMG, another Chili acolyte. I feel BSBT is older than Chili, or at least he's been in in around the community circles a lot longer than Chili has. So I wouldn't. He's definitely not a Chili acolyte. Uh, Persnickety for $9.99. Do you think Judge Giroux made it easy for the judge to take a no BS stance for stuff? This has been coming for a while. This has been coming for a while. I will say that the Brooks trial definitely brought Sov Sits back into the national spotlight for sure, and maybe that might have kicked things in gear. But judges finally, dropping the hammer has been a long time coming. I think we're now, especially at this point, where the vast majority of judges are or should be aware of sovereign citizens and are better able to cut them off before they turn things into a nightmare. I think the Brooks trial, was a separate situation, but I think in especially nowadays, judges are far more cognizant of these tactics. And Stroke Assaulter, thank you for being a 10-month member. This is an amazing display of a judge in control. Very much so. I feel like that's it's what I would call, it's the command presence, right? It's command presence for judges, because we have all seen other cases where judges do not have that command presence of the courtroom, and they allow defendants to completely railroad each other. Yours, Mandy, I don't remember seeing yours. Where was yours? I don't see it on here. Hold on. Yeah, I don't see it. What was it then?
It says, oh my God, I've been here for 12 months.
Ah, well, yeah, you're right. OMG, I cannot believe you've been here for 12 months. For sure. Thank you, though. Thank you for being here for all this time and tolerating my BS.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Wait. Wait, right one? Sort by date. There we go. So there's this one, but
How you doing?
I'm actually gonna have a dual camera setup for this one. Because it's body camera footage of the same incident, but from two different police officers. One is the initial officer on scene, and the other is the supervisor who arrives a bit later. We're gonna go to the first officer on scene, and then I'm gonna, in the background, get that squared away.
Good. How are you doing? Good. All right. Put your hands down, bro.
I just want to make sure.
What's going on today?
Well, I'm here trying to get my representative pay changed. When I walked in, a rep offered me a mask. I said no, thank you. I was very polite. Actually, I was polite the entire time. 3 or 4 different times she kind of came and says, threatening me, "Hey, we're not going to see you. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. And now we're going to be calling the police if you don't leave." And then I said, "Well, ma'am, I can't. This is a policy. If you're going to call law enforcement to enforce a policy, then that's on you. I can't do that. That's waste of funds." But right now, they'd be violating my civil rights if they refuse me service here at the Social Security office. So what I want today, and is your camera recording, I see it, your name and your badge number, because whoever does, if anybody does violate, I will be naming them on a civil lawsuit, because I'm just here trying to access my federal benefits within my liberties under the Constitution. CDC recommendations for a mask on the face with anything with a beard longer than 2 inches required a specific beard style mask. If the facility is unable to provide said mask, I do not need to provide one for them. So I'm not going to comply or to whatever they want. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
So,
Well, They want you trespassed, unfortunately, okay?
If you are going to trespass me, I would like that in writing.
Yeah, it's going to be a trespass warning.
Okay.
They
A
want
trespass
you
warrant?
Warning.
Oh, warning. No.
No.
What's a warning?
So trespass warning comes out, it's going to have a case number at the top, it's going to show that you were the subject of a trespass.
So I can't come back here
For a year, exactly.
for a year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's,
all right.
that's,
so you're
that's
gonna,
their, that's their
under what
request.
law did I break? Am I being trespassed from this facility? This is a private
This
facility?
is a private facility, so they have the right to trespass whoever they want
This is
to.
not, this is a public facility.
This is private. They have the right to trespass whoever they want to from
This
the
is
business.
not, this is public.
Okay. They have the right as an employee to trespass whoever they
But what
want
did
from
I
the
do?
business.
What law did I break? What ordinance have I
You have to
violated?
ask them that.
I did. They wouldn't tell me.
Okay, well, I don't have to.
Hey,
I don't
de-escalate.
have to.
Hey, de-escalate.
I don't have to.
De-escalate, please.
Whatever you're saying to him, I want to be included in it, okay?
Please de-escalate.
Okay. I'm not escalating.
Your voice went.
Not something.
Trust me, because I'm trying to explain something to you. I'm seeking over a mask. So just listen for a second.
Again, but
Okay?
I haven't raised my
Can you
voice.
hear me talk?
All right.
I'm letting you talk, right? This is
I'm
my
not
time
asking
to
to
talk. We're explaining something to each other.
Yep.
I listen to you, right?
Yeah.
I want you to listen to me for a
I
second.
haven't interrupted you.
Every time I try to explain to you, you're like interjecting every single time.
Apologize.
Okay?
Florida law, that's.
They want you, they as the employees of this establishment have the ability to trespass whoever they want to.
Correct.
So they called me for whatever reason that y'all had out there. They want you trespassed.
Oh, got it.
I have to abide by their wishes as they are the employee who said, hey, I want X person trespass.
Okay. So just so you're aware,
Just to let you guys know that the body camera footage is intentionally blurred because they are inside of the Social Security Administration building. So that's why it's been blurred. It's for redaction purposes.
you potentially are
Action for
losing
you
your
is to say, I can't help you with this.
Your
This
in
isn't our job.
the word
This isn't even our department.
your ability
policy.
not to be
This
sued.
isn't state
Just letting you
law.
know,
This isn't even federal law.
because right now you would be violating my rights by trespassing me from a building. I haven't broken any laws.
I'm not violating your civil rights.
You're trespassing me from a public building.
I am not.
That's civil. That's this is a criminal thing. I'm talking about
Wait, it's a
criminal
criminal?
element.
I haven't criminal. What crime? What crime?
Supervisor here.
Once I trespass you,
But what crime?
Accidentally make the wrong.
once I trespass you, which is the criminal element, what you have against them, that's the civil
You
thing.
would need my ID, right?
I do have to identify it,
I
yes.
haven't broken any laws.
They want you
I
trespass.
don't care. I haven't broken any laws.
Okay, so you're willing to leave?
No, I'm not.
Okay then. So
Not until I'm done with my
you're not making
business.
this. You're not making this any easier.
What the right person
You're stopping. You just stopped me from. I was here. I was here. I was about to finish my business.
We're not causing a disturbance. We're trying
You
to
are causing
see.
a very big disturbance
The
because
majority of the people out there.
Like I said,
Sorry.
they want you.
I understand.
They just want you trespass, so I have to oblige by them.
Let's go outside, so we're not causing a scene in here.
Okay. that's
Well, I'm
fine.
gonna call a sergeant.
I will be filing a civil complaint, and I would like your supervisor.
Okay.
Supervisor.
I would like both of your supervisors, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him right now.
No, and again, I would like your name and all the information from everybody here. I would like, because this is absolutely a violation of my rights.
Bob Shelley, Lieutenant Reader Patrol.
Accordance to the CDC, please, and both of you, if you please do me a favor, look at CDC guidelines. There is a mask mandate for beards.
Okay, you
They
56
didn't
is
offer
down
me
here.
one.
They
She
are
could not provide me a
supervisor
beard mask.
because they
Upon
are
request.
accusing us of
Upon
violating their
request.
civil rights.
Alright, just so you're aware, I'm recording this for my own safety and your safety.
Yeah, I don't care.
Hey, why aren't you wearing that mask? This is the, hey.
I'm outside.
If you didn't notice, he just went outside and that's why he took off the mask.
But it's on, this is their property.
I'm outside.
You see that? You see the hypocrisy here.
I'm outside.
He's outside though.
Okay.
Okay.
You see the hypocrisy. This is horseshit. I'm a disabled veteran. You're trespassing me. Your name will be on the trespass warrant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they want you to
Warning.
trespass.
Yeah, and then I'll be filing a civil lawsuit. Please call your supervisor.
My supervisor already is on his way.
Oh, outstanding.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
This is ridiculous.
I agree.
I like how see this sign right here where it says specifically Title 18 United States Code Section 93. Do you see any section, any policy, any mandate on that sign? None.
That's their policy.
It's a policy. This is a public
policy.
building.
I don't enforce policy.
Okay, you don't enforce policy. That's
Exactly.
right. You enforce the law.
Exactly.
And you're
they're
trespassing.
wanting you trespass, which
Under
is the
what?
law.
What law?
Stop. This
What
is the
law?
law.
What law did I break?
Ask them.
You're the one
Trespassing is the law.
You're the one telling me to leave.
Trespassing
You're
is the law,
enforcement.
is
You're
it
the
not?
one. I'm not. I haven't
Trespassing
done
is the
anything
law.
wrong.
You're trespassing. You're literally trespassing. If the officer were to order him to put on the mask, then he would be trying to enforce the policy, and that he cannot do. So he cannot force him to wear the mask or be arrested, or because that right there is enforcing the policy. They don't want him here because he's not adhering to their policy, and therefore they want him trespassed. That's what the officer is enforcing. I mean, setting aside, I personally think it's silly for them to have a mask requirement in December of 2022, but that's neither here nor there. We've already been down this road for a long time now.
That's your problem with them. That has nothing to do with me.
You're here. You're enforcing their law.
We're very much 10-4. Thank you. Say that again.
You're the one here enforcing their policies.
They want you trespassed.
Great. You're the one going to
Okay.
be on the civil lawsuit.
Good luck. That's all I
Good
have to
luck.
say. Yeah.
Oh, great. I'll remember that.
Good.
Good. Okay. Thanks.
Here we go. He's right here. The police officer going to be trespassing us.
Thank you, Brad, for the $20 super chat. Did they really ever file civil suits against the officers? I would say maybe. I mean, I'm spitballing here, but it's very, very rare that these guys actually follow through with their threats. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, because I've actually seen federal suits where they actually have filed suit against officers for things like this, but it's very, very rare. Because, spoiler alert, it costs money to file a federal lawsuit, and oftentimes these guys don't have that.
Is Rios coming or is? Yes. Where's he at?
Clare, New Hampshire.
I was trying to calm and explain to that guy, but he wasn't listening to anything I had to say. So.
That's why.
Did they call
That's why I
Homeland
just walked
Security
out.
again?
Huh?
Did they call Homeland Security again?
I have no idea.
I think Watts dealt with this issue like literally the other day.
Yeah.
But
And she made it onto YouTube. So I'm pretty sure I'm next to follow.
I can't.
We don't enforce policy.
No.
Was the business calls and requests that you be trespassed? We have a legal obligation to do so.
Well, that's not good.
All over. Our mask.
I have to do this a different way.
You wanted to talk to our sergeant, correct? He's on the way. He's almost here. He's almost here. You wanted to speak to a sergeant.
Trespassing, right? Trespassing us.
I,
He said he was trespassing us.
I was trying to figure out what was going on with him as well, sir.
Yeah, the cancer, right? You think this is? You guys think this is like constitutional? This guy not only has lung cancer, he's a veteran. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, see?
No, bro, you're good. Hey.
Oh, our sergeant.
Okay. Oh. Hang on, guys. Try and get this situated. So that we can see what's here. About to link up. So the supervisor just arrived on scene.
Hi, sir, how are you doing? I haven't had a ticket probably 25 years. But what I'm saying, though, is that you guys are going to trespass me from a federal benefits building. This building is where I get my benefits from.
What if I was a person of color? What would I say that
Person of color.
I feel like it's discrimination?
Hi, sir, how are you doing?
All right, we're about to I'm gonna try and this is about the best I can do to sync it up together. So now I'm gonna switch the audio to the supervisor, and here we go.
Good, sir. How are you?
Doing well. My name is Steven. Your name?
Julian.
Julian?
Wayne.
Can I get your badge number?
We're both.
We don't have badge numbers. We have DL number, DL734.
DL734.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're being told. So what this gentleman has told me is that we are being trespass warninged from this facility, this federal building, for not wearing a mask based off their facility policy.
By
We
the
haven't
way-
broken any laws.
By the way, the last 2 months, you could come in and out of here without one. So I don't know what. We didn't like wake up today and say, let's go to Social Security. I got lung cancer. We're both veterans. I walked in, sat down, and the guard in there said you have to wear a mask. I said I can't wear a mask. I said I got tumors in my lung. What? I said it's not state law. The governor of Florida said it's not state law. And I said you can ask us, and we can decline.
And we
that's
politely
it.
did. I politely said no, thank you.
But
And for an hour, she harassed me.
The security guard is
Well,
escalated.
they can have their policies as far as the mask wear if they want. It's no different than you can't videotape inside the building. I mean, they have their policy as far as that goes too.
Yeah, but none of us live
But
outside of law.
wouldn't that be violating your First Amendment and your
If they have
If they have that policy, then no, that's their policy.
So here's what I'm going to say: is if your guys' names are on these trespass warnings, you guys will be named in the civil lawsuit for violating my rights.
Okay.
And I'm just being completely fair, and you guys will lose your indemnify or your
Listen, brother. All we want to do is just go in there.
There we go.
Somebody-
Nailed it.
I was sitting down.
I understand, but if they're saying that you got to wear masks and they don't want to provide you service because you're not
Now
wearing
we're in
masks, then
sync.
unfortunately, we can't change that. That's their policy.
Okay.
So.
So
What we need.
What's that?
You're trespassing us, though.
If they're asking to have
For
you
an
trespass,
entire
if
year.
they ask you to leave and you refuse to leave,
Yes.
now they're going to want to trespass you. Yeah.
He said trespass
Okay. Then yeah, you're most likely going to be trespassed.
for
Or
an
you
entire year.
could, right.
So I would like to see that paperwork because that's
Right, somebody
I
gotta
want
sign
to
their
let's
name
do
to
this. Like let's get this done and over with because I want to get on with my day.
Well, here's
and if
the
you guys are
issue right
violating
now. If they're asking you to leave, technically we're still on property. Here's where this could get.
They didn't ask me to leave.
They actually called him back and started helping him.
Yeah,
And you guys came.
I was sitting in the booth with the employee.
They said they weren't going to help him, and then they called back and they started helping him, and then the
Well, it
police
sounds
showed
like the issue here is going to be the mask issue. So if you're not willing to wear a mask, then they're probably not going to be willing to provide you.
What's the
whatever
mask
service.
issue?
Then you're gonna-
Because they have that policy they want to run. I don't know. That's
I'll
not
make you a
that's not
deal.
a law.
I'll make you a deal. I'll wear a mask, but they have to provide me the proper mask.
I'm not wearing one.
I don't know what mask they provide.
That's what I'm saying. So the CDC requires any mask, any beard over 2 inches have to wear a specific beard mask that engulfs the entire face. I mean, it is standard. And I asked for one of those, and they would not provide one. So I said, no, thank you. I'm not going to wear a half-assed mask and do a dog and pony show to make someone feel better. I'm here to do my benefits, get something done, and get out of here.
I think the city of DeLand Police Department deserves better than to come over here and do these kind of calls.
This is a waste of resources.
No, we get all kinds of calls throughout the day. This is no different than a lot of the calls that we get. So
yeah, you guys just had a murder over here. I mean, your resources should.
Let me go talk to them and figure out what they're doing.
No, he already told us.
Who do we have inside?
It
doesn't matter what they're doing.
No, I'm just trying to get informed on why I'm here. I already got your side of the story, so now I'm gonna get theirs. Stand by with them. Do we have their 14?
We haven't gotten that far.
Okay. Well, they're probably not going to give it to us.
Yep.
All right, let me go with that.
What do you want done with these people?
I know management wanted them trespassed because he even came out here.
So did we tell them to leave already?
Yeah, I told them that they had to wear a mask. He refused to wear a mask because of his beard. I didn't have a beard mask to give him.
Yeah, that's what
I said, well, do you have one? He's like, well, y'all are making us wear it. We're to provide it. Yeah, I was polite to him. I didn't scream at him. I didn't get rude or anything like that. I spoke with him and I spoke with management and I replied back and forth. But I guess that's harassment in his eyes.
Okay.
But then another individual came and it led to that one doing the same thing. And then his wife came in and let her do the same thing and then getting the lobby riled up. This is my sergeant too. Just
okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So, and then.
So, are they refusing to leave, basically? Did you guys tell them they need to leave, or?
No. So I told them that if the business wants them trespassed, we have a legal obligation to abide by the employees within.
But you told them to leave and they wouldn't leave.
Yeah, they would not leave. They wouldn't comply. He said to call you guys. I've talked to SPS because this is, under their building too, because it's federal, which FPS Mohammed, and he did say as well as to call you guys if they're wanting them trespassed, because we had this issue a couple weeks ago with the First Amendment guy.
That was recorded.
Yeah, it's on YouTube too.
Yeah, we saw it.
And I know the one law enforcement officer, he's seen me as just security as well, because I watched it. And so that's why I double checked with FPS to just go ahead and call you guys, because he said because he told you guys, well, the law enforcement here at that time, the same thing I told them. But they wanted to hear it from him.
And what was that?
What was that? Mandy, don't time him out next time. If he wants to troll, he can troll.
Yeah, that gentleman got trust. I remember that. Yeah.
But I know management here wanted them trespassed if they wasn't going to comply with the rules. Like, they are willing to help them. They just have to wear the mask because it's their policy.
It doesn't matter if it's the beard mask or the specific mask.
No, because I had an individual come. He said he had a letter for that, so he can be waived from it. And he had also said, well, he can call the number and go through the services of that nature. That there's no excuses. You have to wear a mask.
So then, what other form? Can I ask what other forms of service do they have available if they choose to not wear a mask? Like how else do they?
The phone line, calling through the phone.
Just calling through the phone and trying to get it done through the phone.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because if they get trespassed, then they're going to have to deal with the phone line, and it's a hassle.
Or go to another facility somewhere else. So maybe I don't know. I don't know if there's another one. Okay. All right. So you told them to leave and they wouldn't leave.
Yes. So I don't know.
Who's with them? Is it just that guy and the other guy?
The guy by himself.
I called you sergeant.
With the glasses and sure, he's by himself, and then
if they're trespassed
with the glasses.
If they're trespassed from one SSA, are they trespassed
ALT.
from all? Or just
So here's what I got with these people. They've already been told to leave. They're not leaving at this point, so I feel like I have enough to then request their information to identify them to do a trespass warning. I have a feeling that's going to go the route that they're not going to then give me that information. No, these are different. It's not the same guy. No, it's not. No, if it was, I'd already take care of that. Huh?
No trouble for me.
No.
Okay.
Have a happy holiday. We're not trying to cause any trouble.
Yeah, I'm wondering who he's referring, who this supervisor is referring to. It sounds like he's referring to another First Amendment auditor.
They might have gotten what? You're breaking up a lot. Right.
Muhammad is on his way.
Well, I know that, but if they're getting trespassed at this point and they're not willing to leave, I need to basically, I'm letting you know that I'm going to put hands on these people.
Yeah.
Because at this point, they've already been told to leave, they're refusing to leave, so now they're committing that crime of trespass. If they don't identify themselves, now they're resisting.
I could probably get his number or his name because his number was called.
Right.
It's a D27, so his information is on the computer. The other guy's is on the computer as well, but I didn't catch his number.
We still have to make reasonable what?
You must wear a mask at all times, maintaining social distancing, and if you are not vaccinated, then follow blah, blah, blah.
I'll have to get management to sign anything.
Yeah.
What's the trespassing?
Who's the management that you keep speaking of?
Harry Martinez.
Okay.
Well, I can almost tell you that they're going to be not willing to identify themselves. You said you were able to identify them for us?
He should be able to pull his number because his number was D27. Because when they called it, he went to the window. Because other than that, he wouldn't give me his name. The other guy has a number too. It's D something. But all their information is in the computer, so I can probably get the name.
Let's see if you can get that for us, for both of them, because then we'll do the trespass one. All right, Elsie. I'll call you back whenever I figure out what's going on.
Yeah, all right. Thank y'all, bro. Oh, yeah, man.
If you what? Yeah, everybody's BWC is on, that's for sure. All right, simple. Thanks. This place is really becoming a headache.
Yes.
Do you have a mask?
In my car.
Well, they probably have. They probably have some in there.
Guys, can they just help them?
So what's the
and then
word?
Send them on their way? Is that what
Did you
that-
solicit a trespass?
Do they have
No,
it?
I didn't solicit a trespass.
Did you turn off your camera while you were talking to them?
No, it's
No.
I'm adjusting the magnet. Okay.
No, he did not.
It's been on the entire time.
Just so you're aware, you are live. There's 700 people watching. The stream's back now.
I don't know why auditors do that.
Here's what
But-
they're saying is that the only reason that they're able to not
Make it sound intimidating, but
they're not abiding by their policy of them wearing a mask. They're not going to provide you specialty masks for beards or anything like
But
that. It's just a standard paper mask that they all have.
All right, great. Can I go back in?
No, if you're not willing to wear a mask, you're not going back in there.
Okay, are you going to stop me? Are you under threat of arrest? Are you going to stop me from going in that building?
At this point, yes, they want you trespassed. They want you to leave. If you do go back on the property, or if you do not
They
leave
have
the
to
property,
give us a piece of paper.
Then
so
give
we
me
can
that
go-
trespass paperwork,
we can
because I
go to-
promise you, you're going to be on the civil
I need
lawsuit.
you to-
that's fine. Do you have your ID with
breaking
you?
the law. You are breaking
Do you
the
have
law.
your ID?
What other law have I broken?
You're not breaking any laws
You
as
want
of
an ID?
yet. But if you stay here, yes, because at this point,
We're at the
trespass
Social
after warning
Security
because they told you to
office.
leave and you haven't left. You're still here.
But I haven't broken any laws. This is a public area.
Trespass after warning, that's how that works.
Listen, brother, what you
That's
need
why
to
it's
do,
called trespass after warning.
go in there
I'd like
and
the
get
paperwork.
the paperwork.
Paperwork,
Because-
please.
Because we need to
What
go.
paperwork do you
Trespass
need?
paperwork.
Listen, because when I go to another federal agency for help with this and they say you're past the deadline that needs to be done because it needs to be done today, I need to be able to say, hey, I tried to do this. They wouldn't let me. If I just leave here,
Well, that's why
they're
they're
not
saying
gonna
there's a
believe
number.
me.
There's a number
We
on the
already
door
called,
that I guess
and
you
I can show you
call.
evidence.
No, you're going to have to do it because you're enforcing it.
No,
You're
I'm not
enforcing
calling
it.
that
Your
number.
name is going to be on it.
Okay, I'm not calling that number. That's going to be your responsibility.
So where's the
to do what you're
trespass?
trying to do.
Where's the trespass?
Do you have an ID?
I'm not going to give you my ID if I haven't broken any laws.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Here's how this
That's
is.
just a breaking
Here's
the
this
law.
going to happen. If you don't identify yourself to us,
Brother, we're in the Social
Under
Security.
threat of arrest,
We've
I'll
already put our
identify
social-
myself. But here's the thing:
We've
is
already
unless you're
been
going to give me,
identified.
no. If you don't identify yourself at that point, it's resisting without violence because you're already trespass after warning. So in order for me to complete this trespass warning that you want, okay, you have to
I
identify
don't
yourself to
want
me.
a
If you do
trespass
not,
warning. You were in
if
there
you do not-
soliciting a trespass.
I didn't solicit it. You can watch my body cam later. I didn't
will.
solicit anything.
You didn't ask them if they want me trespass?
No, I asked them whether or not they had asked you to leave.
We provided
They
our
said
ID.
yes.
That's how we got
Okay,
check-
and that you
check in.
hadn't left. So now we're here at this point. So now we have to investigate a trespass after warning
You're
issue.
breaking the law by enforcing their policy.
Okay, here's the problem. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you.
Well, then do
Apparently,
it.
they're not going to help you unless you wear a mask. Period. That's the
Then
end of
you
that.
do what you
They're
gotta
not going to
do.
help you if you're not going to wear a mask.
We're not going to
okay?
leave, so you do what you got to do.
You're not going to leave.
I need your name. I need a piece of paper saying we are here and
Yes,
couldn't be
I want a
served.
piece of paper.
If you don't
Are you not
produce it-
leaving as well?
Not until I have a piece of paper.
Can I go
well,
in and
we
get a
can
piece of
do the
paper for these
trespass
guys?
warning if you provide your
Well,
IDs
that's
for us. so we
But I
can be done
haven't
with
broken the law.
Listen, how am I going to
that.
go to
We're
another?
flirting with that now.
Flirting with what?
You're flirting with
You've
breaking
been told to
Florida
leave.
law.
Now we're telling you that you need to leave, and you're still not leaving. You're still here.
I'm saying you're wrong.
All right, how about this? I'll go stand right there on the side of the road. But what are we? What I need to come in and do
Do you
my
have a
benefits.
vehicle on property?
Oh, yes.
What are you going to do?
They're not going
Harass us
to
with our
provide
vehicle
you
now?
that. They're not going to provide you assistance without a mask. We've
You
already
need to
told you
enforce the law.
No, are
That
you
they're
a veteran?
violating my rights.
Are you a veteran?
That's
Did you
with
serve?
them.
No, that's with you.
No, they're not violating your rights
You're
by
doing
any means
wrong.
right now.
They're not.
No, now
they're
you
not.
are.
They're
You're
not.
doing
They're
it.
not. They're not
Because
preventing me.
they're saying that they have a policy. It's no different than if somebody was
They're
videotaped
Not a
inside the
policy.
building.
You are
There's a Second
violating our
Amendment,
policy.
First Amendment.
Okay.
These things
They're
trump
Are you
that
going
law.
to leave? I'm asking you. This is the last time.
Not until you give me.
Are you going to leave the property?
Not until you give me a piece of
I
paper
need to
that says I'm
see a
officially
social
trespassed.
security representative.
You can't be
I have
officially
a ticket.
trespassed unless I identify you.
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, thank God I was able to pause both. Hey, I feel like if these folks really needed these services, and it honestly sounds like this guy sounds like he really does need these services because he's the only one who's been actively talking about, you know, what he needs to get done. But that being said, I don't understand. Yes, I feel like the policy at this point, December 2022, is kind of silly. But it's not like they're demanding a cavity search or something. It's a damn mask. But whatever. I can't speak more about this.
And then
I'm
you're
not
still
identifying
trespassed
you.
because I'm telling you you're
I
trespassed.
haven't broken the law. Why would I identify
Are you refusing
myself?
to leave?
I'm not refusing to leave. I'm asking
Are
for
you refusing to
paperwork.
leave right now?
I'm asking you for
I'm not
paperwork.
leaving.
Are you not leaving?
I'm
I
asking
need
you for
you to-
paperwork.
Neither one of you is going to leave.
Just paperwork.
You're
to
refusing
tell
to
us-
leave?
Paperwork.
What is?
You're refusing to leave.
What is the charge?
Can you grab that paperwork from him?
This is my ID.
Okay.
Can I handcuff him in front? I have stitches.
That's fine. That's
Can
fine.
I show you? Look.
That's fine.
Listen, just so you know,
I
I'm not.
believe you. I believe you.
I got lung cancer. That's why I'm not
Are
wearing.
you going to give her the cigarette in this?
I don't have cigarettes. I don't
Or your
smoke.
pen? I'm sorry. You want that?
I was trying to fill my paperwork out so I can go to the VA.
I understand.
I'll get to the super chats just here in a bit. 1 second. Script Cat says that guy on the right, I guess the bald individual, it says that he does this all the time. He waits until the last minute, then pulls this garbage, and then Theotama says you can do most of them, or I guess the services, online or by the phone now. That's how I do everything. I haven't had to show up to an office in years.
Understand that, but we're asking y'all to leave, and y'all are refusing to leave.
You really don't have to do this.
I didn't want to.
I asked
Okay,
for
so
paper.
what's the next step?
Are we gonna
About the papers, he already said that.
Where would we get the paper? Can I go in and get paperwork for these guys?
Anybody
so
have
they
any
can
of the plastic
array?
cuffs?
I need to
Mine
have,
aren't big enough
sir.
for that.
I
Yeah.
need to get this filled out today. It's a deadline thing. That's
I'm
why
sorry to
here.
hear that, but there's nothing I can do for you.
What you need to do is go in there and tell them I can't enforce this. This is not Florida
There's
law.
nothing I can do for you.
This is not. You know what the governor's stance is on this?
Okay.
I'm not going to resist. You don't.
I understand you're not resisting. That's fine. Does anybody have any of the plastic cuffs?
We're two veterans. We're the kind of people you never have to deal with.
Let's walk over to this cars.
Okay.
I don't have any weapons. I have my wallet in my pocket.
I understand. I understand.
Can you? I don't want my.
Don't reach in your copy.
I was going to give my mom my card.
I know. Let's walk over here. We'll worry about that.
I don't want my truck full.
We'll worry about that after.
I don't have any problems. I don't feel good.
Walk over here. Well, sir, we asked you to leave.
Imagine bringing your mom and your wife to an audit like this and getting arrested.
Several times. They're asking you to leave. You're not leaving. You're not identifying yourself. So that's
No,
what we're
but when I go someplace else and tell them I tried to submit that's my number, they were going to see me.
Well, then
But then they all of a sudden stop.
Well, they said that you're supposed to wear a mask. I'm sure they asked you several
I
times.
have lung
and you didn't.
cancer.
I understand that. You have
No,
to
you
go through the
don't.
phone
You don't
number.
care.
You have to go through the phone number. From my understanding through them, you have to go through the phone number and explain to them that you have some sort of
I
exemption.
tried to call for an hour and a half and they cut me off on the phone. That's why I'm here on a Monday morning.
I unfortunately don't work for the Social Security office. I can't make that any different.
Yeah, why
I can't
are
make
you
that
working
process
for
happen. Because at this point, this is in the city of DeLand jurisdiction. They wanted somebody trespassed. They said you have to leave. You all both are both refusing to leave.
They never told us to leave.
Well, she's telling me that.
Can we have just
The security officer inside.
What I would leave. Listen, I would leave, but I
Well,
need
we
to-
told you to leave several times on their behalf as well.
I didn't refuse to leave.
I need.
No, I told you to leave several times, and you said no, we're not leaving until I get a trespass warning. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. Okay? Because we're not getting stuck in a back and forth. If you're refusing to leave until you get a trespass warning and you're refusing to identify yourself, then at that point, what we'll do is we'll arrest you as a John Doe, and then when they figure out who you are, then at that point you'll get released.
We've been trying. We really
okay?
have.
That's where we're at.
We really exhausted every single option.
I don't want to arrest anybody for trespassing. The easy, simple fix to this was, hey, they don't want to provide you service because of the mask. Y'all need to leave.
I don't need it.
And it didn't happen. So that's where we're at.
Okay, then what I'm trying to say is, if they're going to tell us we have to leave, we'll leave. But we need them to give us a piece of paper.
No, we're past that.
We need them to give us a piece of paper saying. You understand what I'm saying?
We're past that point.
I don't know how this happened today.
Well, I don't either. I'd rather be on our way if we could.
I don't know how this happened.
We were super violent.
Can I get my car key?
We gave everybody ample opportunity to leave. Everybody always wants to leave whenever people get put in handcuffs.
Hey,
I'll get you in.
Can you? It's my wallet. Can you?
Don't reach into his pockets.
Please don't
reach into his pockets.
He asked me to take my car keys.
Just don't hurt my mom.
Please. Come on, bro.
Please don't hurt my mom.
Stay with him.
Yeah. Bro, don't hurt my mom.
We're not hurting your mom. Nobody's hurting your mom.
I wanted to.
No, I didn't want to hurt anybody.
I just don't want my freaking car towed, because if it gets towed, I won't be able to afford to get it out.
Here's the thing. These are all choices you made.
Yes, exactly.
These are all choices you made. Unfortunately, I tried.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, because honestly, I feel like these guys want to be making this kind of a scene. But if your issues was getting your car towed, or that you had other things to do with your day, or you actually do need the services that you're here for, I don't get that wearing a mask for maybe an hour and a half is so much of a detriment that you would have to go through this. I don't get it.
I want to help you.
I know,
we tried to help you. No, you don't know.
I live in a fucking camper, bro.
Okay, well.
I'm disabled. Okay. I got lung cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that. Those are all things I cannot help you with.
You could if you just let me go in there.
I'm not a doctor. I can't provide you treatment for your cancer.
I'm trying to get an appointment for a doctor. I can't even get one because of this COVID.
Okay, well, here we are.
I don't have any drugs or anything.
I don't know what you have. I don't know you.
I don't take drugs. I'm just
okay. Well, I don't know if you have weapons. I don't know if you have anything.
Can you not pull my pants?
I'm going to treat you just like I treat everybody else that gets arrested, and I have to treat you through court.
But I'm not a criminal.
Via protocol. Actually, at this point, yes, you are.
I haven't submitted a crime.
Yes, you have. It's called trespass after warning. You got warned several times to leave, and you refused.
It's going to be hard for me to get in here.
Well, I'm sorry. The easiest way I can tell you is
where are you guys taking me to?
First, we're going to go to our cells, and then we're going to complete paperwork, then you're going to go to jail.
Can I get a drink of water?
When we get there, yes.
I had money? I didn't even know I had $5.
$5 in your pocket.
Well, that was my money to get home for gas.
Have a seat.
Okay,
do you have my car key?
Can you just let us leave? Why
No.
can't we leave?
I don't want. If you tow my car, I can't even get it out, and then I can't even get to my
I'll take
appointment.
care of your car.
She has your car keys, so she'll get your car out.
Can you come to where I'm at and bail? I don't even have bail money.
How do you know you're going to get bail? You don't even
I don't know. I've
bail.
never been arrested in Florida. I've
Have
never
a seat.
broken a crime.
I don't even know why.
You hear him? I've never even been arrested before in Florida. Come on, man.
Why we didn't just leave? Can we just leave?
No.
No, of course not.
No, because at that point, once we warned him several times, matter of fact, we gave him ample opportunity several times to leave. I could have arrested him after the first time. So.
Did you take his wallet?
Yeah, so all of his property's going with him.
Are you serious?
Yes, ma'am, I'm very serious. I would not joke about something like this. I don't find this funny. I don't find this entertaining.
I've never been treated this way by Joanne's lease.
If it's easier for you, maybe you can put your back up against that door. That way you can kind of sit and you're not cramped in there. Now, if you're okay there, then you're fine.
I'm okay.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Any other questions I can answer for you?
Well, I'd like to know what are your next steps?
I already informed you. He's going to go down to our holding cells. They're going to complete paperwork, and then he's going to go to the county jail.
That's the situation.
That's the situation we're in.
And then how long does he stay in jail?
What's that?
How long does he stay at jail?
Until he can bond out, or the judge sees him in the morning at first appearance and decides to release him on his own recognizance, or whatever the judge decides to do.
So he'll see a judge in the morning?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Good.
Alright, what's your name and phone number if he wants it to go with them? That way you can call you. Because he doesn't have his phone.
Down about the pending parking on West Ridge. Go ahead and put me on that.
We're gonna go to the other scene here.
This is 30 cents. And then your... Are these vapes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They're all from the dispensary, and I have the certificates in the car.
That's fine. You want me to just leave them in your car?
No, I don't care. My shoulder's about to dislocate.
What's that?
I'll put your handcuffs
I did last time. FPS didn't have to do that.
Oh, to have management do it?
Yeah, have them do it.
What was the reason for that? Aren't you a representative?
Yeah, because we're under FPS as well, so
Yeah.
with it being in their building, they want them to sign it and not this.
Oh, okay. For the jurisdictional
Just hop on out.
or whatever it is.
Okay. Just watch your step. I'll be right back, though.
That's the one.
Yeah, I got you. I just don't want you to fall. Just turn around and swing your legs out this way. It makes it a little easier getting out. There you go.
It's just the shoulder. I just gotta rotate this and cuff.
You're fine. I'm gonna put them in front. I don't need you getting any injury.
Said something about his shoulder, but I mean that's also another bingo card. Bingo box.
What's that? Here in a minute. I mean, we gotta do the trespass warning, leave it with them, and then do another one.
Just lotto, so it does a tight.
Well, we have to do the trespass warning originally, yeah, just to document the fact that they were warned to leave and they never left.
They never asked him.
That's what they're telling me they did.
Well, that's a lie.
Okay, well.
I'm sorry to tell you. I see it right there. They never did.
Well, even if they didn't ask him to leave, they also, with me coming out here and explaining that they needed to leave, that was also a warning.
Right.
So because I told them, hey, they're not going to provide you this service because they said you're not wearing a mask, and at this point they want you gone.
They didn't say that, though.
I said that.
Okay, they didn't say that, though.
Of course they did, because this gentleman over here is telling me that he wasn't going to wear a mask and that he refused to wear a mask as well.
I came in. I didn't even know any of this was going on. I came in and sat down, and that lady said nothing.
Which lady? The lady in there,
Lady
the
in the
security
desk.
officer that's also wearing a mask?
Yeah, the security person.
Okay. Well,
I don't know why she, maybe because they stood up for their rights, but still, the people in the offices
a lot of
would
people,
have taken care of them.
unfortunately, say they want to stand up for their rights, and then they figure out that there's still rules to follow. No, they still have rights, but there's rules to follow.
Can you get out and stand up? He said he's feeling.
He's feeling what?
Well, I do the paperwork. Would you mind standing here with him so he can get fresh air?
No, because I got to take care of some stuff myself too. So you can leave the door, the windows open, and get fresh air.
Ambulance here, sir?
Okay.
We'll get you out of the back of the car at least until paperwork is completed. But then when we get back to the holding cells, right here we can't. I know you told me what a renal gland is and that it's missing. Yes, ma'am. Or sir. Sorry.
He's missing a few other things.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do his trespass, and Larry's gonna do his.
So you're going to pull two case numbers. One for the original trespass. The second one is going to be for a renewed trespass. Okay, so they're not going to be able to come back here for a year. And the first one that you're going to do, that's going to be the affidavit case number.
Okay,
So
this-
there's going to be a total of
so-
4.
okay,
Two for each one.
Okay, so
Okay.
2 total trespasses. One is the original. The second
Correct.
one is what they're gonna sign.
The second one is what's going to remain as a future trespass warning.
Do we have to have the? I haven't done the new ones on cracks yet, so do we have to have them like sign like?
They don't have to sign it.
No. Okay.
No. They don't have to sign it. They can if they want to, which it sounds like he might want to. What you got, Larry? Huh? Okay. Does he have his card with him?
Yeah.
That's in the car?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, here, hang on to those for a minute, then we'll figure that out. Did he say he has a medical marijuana card in the car?
No, it's in his wallet.
Oh, he's got it with him?
Yeah.
Let me find out, see if we can enter him into evidence or do whatever with it.
Pardon?
So let me see what let me look that
Just
up.
the little vapes.
Okay. Yeah, hang on to him for now.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'm doing my best to do audio mixing in real time to see what's good, what's good to listen to, what's not. The switch between 2 body cameras. Again, I promise to get to the super chats when we conclude.
Can you just keep an eye on him? I have to just go put his AirPods in his car. Yep.
I don't remember promising kitty appearances, Insane Lane. I don't know if I said that. But if they wander in, I'll try to catch them.
AirPod. Put the AirPod in case. There we go.
Oh, I did? Oh,
Five
maybe I did.
21 Central Florida attack. Disabled veteran tag is going to be Foxtrot Lima 28. I'm sorry, Foxtrot Lima Sierra 8. Black Honda minivan. Thank you, sir. Can you just also link the RO? I appreciate it.
Sorry to pull one piece on, but I'm gonna pull a second because he said we gotta do 2 trespasses each person. This second one, the first one's gonna be the affidavit one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll pull 2 and then you do the second.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm
What's
continuing
your name,
on.
sir? Steven. All right. Your car is unlocked. Do you want me to lock it? Or just leave it as is? Okay. Yeah, you'll be out. You'll be out. Absolutely.
Am I able to call him now?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I have to confirm with my sergeant real quick.
We're now listening to the left hand video, which has the I think the channel operator in this car. So that's what we're listening to now. So the left-hand camera.
Can you just add one more case number? My computer's not allowing me to. I don't need it back.
That guy had lung cancer.
Which I understand.
Wait,
I think with that gentleman, I think it was more so the fact of him being disorderly.
He's sick.
Which I get.
He's sick.
Which is not fair. It's not fair to him.
And I did recommend that I would go off if you guys would just give me paperwork.
That's the thing. We were going to give you the paperwork after you got off the property, but if you...
No, you guys asked for my ID, and I kept asking you.
Yeah, we have to identify you. That's why. We have to identify who you are.
Not in the state of Florida. You could put me under a name that I've been trespassed.
Yeah, we could do a John Doe trespass.
Yeah, so why didn't that happen? That's
because
what I was asking for.
You had the ability to provide your identification.
But I didn't have to. I have a fourth amendment and a fifth amendment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. My job is not to assist you in your investigation.
Okay.
I'm a single dad. My kids all the time.
You just say he's a single dad. This dude is dropping all of the.
And I respect that, and I
the
appreciate
pity points.
A product of a single parent household. I respect that to the fullest.
Oh my god.
Yes, sir.
No, he looked up what I looked up. I'm pausing it here. We're already out of sync. We're out of sync, but I wanted to pause here. He looked up what I found. What I actually looked up, which is I Google searched CDC beard and masks, and this image is exactly what I found.
No middle name, no middle initial for this gentleman?
No, you didn't write it.
Okay.
Are they going to the department, or are they going to be released? Madison was asking.
No, they're, because it was trespass after warning and they continued to do what they were doing, they're going to be charged and taken to jail.
Okay, that's what I'm double check.
Yeah, so as soon as we're done with the first set of trespass warnings, which would be the original, you guys told them, we told them several times to leave.
Yes.
Then we're going to renew it because that one gets used in an affidavit, so.
Okay.
Okay?
Alright.
So they'll be in to have at least, there are going to be 2 trespass warnings each that need signatures on.
Okay. I'll let Madison know.
Alright. Are you guys, how late are you guys open?
I locked the doors at 4, they have till 5.
Okay, but they'll be here the entire time in case we do the charging affidavits and then come back and get them signed. Can we do that?
They should be, yeah, they'll be here. Martinez will be here for the day.
Okay. As long as there's a representative here that can sign it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, he'll be here.
Okay.
FPF Mohammed, they're on, I think that they're still gonna be on their way. I'm not sure because they were like an hour out.
Yeah.
There's only 2 of them. Him and the K9 were on their way.
Okay. What are they coming and what reason for that?
I did let him know that they were placed in handcuffs. So I don't know if he's gonna turn around because I called Mega Center and update them. So she'll probably update him and probably cancel the thing. So they,
Yeah, I mean,
they're going.
well, the last time he showed up, I mean, not for nothing, but he just, I guess, the last time that happened, they invited a person that they allegedly want to trespass back so they could talk to him on the property, so that made it an issue.
Oh yeah, that makes a huge issue.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were going to do anything besides talk to them, because that seems like to be what happens every single time. So,
yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know. So
it's
frustrating.
Yeah.
What's this gentleman's name?
Schooner. Yeah, that's the other one is Stephen W. Sanders. Okay. Reynolds. So they're here till 4 o'clock if y'all want to do just a charging affidavit to send them, and then we'll come back after.
Delaware, please.
Oh, thank you.
What's that? Huh? No, yeah, we're not. They're just having trouble finding you. Do you know your social? Well, I know, but I didn't say identify yourselves to them. I said to us. No, that's a totally different service.
What?
Can't answer that question, unfortunately. What's that?
About the mask policy. That's not our.
You guys care about the enforcement of their trespass.
Yeah, they want you to trespass, so we have to, by law, oblige by that.
You don't. Okay, so how about this? Can I rephrase it? Reframe it?
Yeah, absolutely.
If I was a.
This is a conversation. You don't have to ask me anything, bro.
Say if I was a journalist and I was filming in a public area, but that
Oh, God.
was one we trespass, but I wasn't violating any laws. You should not trespass an individual unless that person has broken a law, an ordinance, or some kind of done something to not allow it to be there within that parameter. But the problem is they're not showing me any rule that I voted on. This is my building. This is the federal of the house. That's on a.
This is my building. Mark that on your bingo cards, fictional ones.
Laws are voted on by senators, governors. I'm not going to hold by a policy that doesn't even have a title or a section.
But basically, well, I don't know about that because by his logic, he wouldn't follow regulations. Regulations aren't passed by Congress; they're passed by executive. They're rules created by executive agencies that also have the force of law. So by his logic, he wouldn't follow those, but he cites two regulations that are posted on some of the signs that he pointed to earlier.
I'm listening to you as I
I know
talk.
you're typing.
Yeah.
But this is beside the point because the law that he's being charged with is trespass.
Hopefully make a difference. I go around and I help homeless people. Every Tuesday I go to a homeless shelter and help homeless veterans. And I go and save American flags, replace them for free. I've done 163. And
Here in Volusia?
yeah, well, not just Volusia, all over the state.
Okay.
I've used a few times. I've raised over $7,000 for flags for people with health conditions.
Okay.
So, like I said, really surprised by this. And the reason I wanted that paperwork is so that way I can file litigation against the Social Security Administration.
Yeah. You're going to get a copy.
Well, I know, but I meant like when the officer kept saying I was being difficult. I just needed my documentation from my legal defense, and I wasn't able to get that unless I was providing identification. And I felt that was not just. It was either I can't get documentation unless I provide my information, and that's not the law. And you guys arrested me for that. Sorry, I tensed up at first.
You're fine, man.
That's a natural reaction.
No need to apologize. Like I said, I appreciate your cooperation. I understand that it's a complex situation that shouldn't have gotten to this point, but we're here now. I'm going to try to get you in and out of here so we can get you back home to your kids so you can continue being the good father that you are.
It's hard. I literally was here because right now they're paying my ex-wife $1,000 a month out of my Social Security benefits because she's claiming that she's not.
More, it's the single dad, the ex-wife is taking my Benny. Oh my God, it's like everyone, they all like have the same rule book that they all follow. It's just, it's so predictable.
Okay.
Next they'll say that, next they'll say the dog died, the wife took the dog as well.
Now I can't come back here for a year.
So that's the end of that one. Let's see the tail end of this. Well, assuming we can get anything out of it. Hold on.
Well, I never said you were.
I'm not trying to create problems for you guys. The biggest regret I have from this whole thing is the position that they put you guys in. It's not right. What they're doing is they're being cowards and they're making you guys enforce something that really we all know isn't right, but everybody's just doing because.
Well, no, they don't have. They can't enforce it. The management in there can't enforce the fact that they can ask you to leave. If you don't decide to leave, then at that point, law enforcement has to come in for the violation of law.
But why should they print me a piece of paper so I can leave with it?
Because if they don't want to, they don't have to at that point. Because you weren't abiding by their policy. They wanted you to wear a mask. You were saying you had a medical issue. They're saying that if you do have a medical issue, that there's no exceptions for that. I honestly don't know. You know what? If they're saying I'm not arresting you for the mask issue.
Well, here's the thing, dude. The Social Security Administration is federal. Florida is Florida. Florida cannot tell the federal buildings necessarily what to do. So Florida cannot tell a federal agency that they cannot enforce their own policies. That's not how that works.
I'm arresting you for the fact that they said that they were refusing service at this point. They're saying they no longer wanted you on property, and you guys were refusing to leave.
When you approached us, we were already outside.
This parking lot is considered part of their property. It's not just in the building. You're still on property. We're still on property right now.
I understand what you're doing. You gotta say what you gotta say.
No, I don't know how to say what I got to say. That's the law. That's the way it works. The property extends past the building. That's why they're able to park cars here. Actually, there's two that I could charge you with. One is trespass after warning, and the other one's resisting without violence.
You can't charge me with that. You weren't even here. You ain't on your body camera.
What is it?
What you just said. None of that stuff happened.
I was here the entire time, and my body camera was on the entire time.
None of what you just said happened.
If you say so.
None of what you said happened. That's not true.
Okay, as you see it.
Yeah, show me at the PD. I'll be out of the car, but I'll be by the radio.
Address that you're staying at, Doctor. Is there an address for it?
You can look it up. It's in Glenwood. Highland Park Fish Camp.
What was this one of the medical platforms? You know that I have orders from my doctor to not wear masks? You know that?
No, I don't. And I don't know your doctor, and you don't have an order with you. And even if you did, that's an issue you have with them, not with us. Again, it's an issue with them. I would have told you, be like, well, they're telling you they're not going to give you service, and they want you off property. It's not my property. I don't own it. Yes, unfortunately, I do have to enforce that because I'm a law enforcement officer. Yeah, I love my job. My body camera is on. I'm not taking it off. I promise you I won't.
It's been on the whole time, man. I mean, you uploaded this.
I'm not asking you to incriminate yourself. Okay. So I didn't show up here. I didn't talk to y'all. You're clearly not listening to me. You don't have to go back inside. I said I came out here and talked to y'all. I never said you attempted to go back inside. I never said that. You keep saying that. I didn't say that. I don't know what you understand that I'm doing. I'm not trying to get you to incriminate yourself. Unless this officer, listen to me. Here's how you don't incriminate yourself. Here's how you don't incriminate yourself. Okay? Here's how that works. Unless this officer asks you any identifying information or anything like that, you don't have to talk to us. So I'm not asking you to incriminate yourself. You're talking to me again. I'm not asking you any questions. My camera was on the entire time I was here.
It was.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, Hitchbot said it right. He's so worried about self-incrimination, but he won't shut the hell up.
I'm not trying to charge anybody with anything. It's in Glenwood. Well, technically it's Glenwood. What's that? You will see a judge, you're right.
Hey, Link, thank you for joining. Thank you for becoming a member. All right, I don't think we can hear anything further, but there it is. According to the description in the video, at the very one, if not both, but I can only confirm that one, the channel owner has been banned from all Social Security Administration buildings. I don't know if it's permanent or if it's a year, but that's what it says in the description. So, congratulations. I hope it was worth it. Let's go to the rest of the super chats before we up. This is what it was the that was the name of the channel on the watermark. Oh gosh, it was this is a public service or something like that. Hold on.
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the channel name is literally called "This is a public service." All right. Let's go. Dave Malik, $5. I actually get to make a live stream. I'm not at work. Oh, thank you very much for joining in, Dave. Bottle Cap, thank you for being a 3-month member. Hey, Artie, keep doing you, man. Thank you very much, Bottle Cap, for your support. Johnny Bravo, $2. Quote, I need to do important stuff, but I need content. End quote. Exactly. I don't understand. If you actually do need these services, why would you risk it by trying to pull this? Why would this be the hill to die on? That's what I don't understand. Debo's Nation, $5 Canadian. Great stream tonight. Thank you very much, Debos. I appreciate it, man. And again, thank you, Link, for becoming a member. So I do want to go to this channel's previous encounters with the SSA, because again, this is not the first time he was trespassed. He was trespassed previously, but not for the whole mask thing, but this time for your tried and true I'm recording in a public building type of shtick, and he decides that he wants to cite certain laws, regulations, anything to support his claim. I found information, and I feel like he kind of omitted certain information that kind of flies in the face of his arguments, but I'll save that for another stream. Investigator, thank you for being an 11-month member. They cleared the COVID clog from jail for soft sits. Thank you, Investigator 77. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Thank you very much, guys. As always, much appreciated for all of your support. I hope you've been having a safe and wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Adios.